Cette édition de l'Open World Forum est intitulée Open Everything. Donc nous allons revenir sur cette 4e édition qui a un format un petit peu nouveau, qui confère à cette conférence une place un petit peu particulière dans l'univers des conférences en réunissant tout public. Alors comment influence-t-elle le phénomène open source aujourd'hui? Et quels éclairages nouveaux apporte-t-elle aux questions de notre temps? En bref, cette conférence, d'où vient-elle et où va-t-elle? Pour répondre à cette question, je suis heureuse d'accueillir Jean-Pierre Laisné, qui est président de la stratégie open source chez Bull, et Louis Montaigne, cofondateur de Berstech, et AF83, président de Colibri et secrétaire de Silicon Sentier. Ce sont les 2 présidents de l'Open World Forum 2011.
Bonjour à tous.
Bonjour.
Bienvenue dans cette 4e édition que l'on ouvre donc en tant que président et qui visiblement a déjà commencé avant même qu'on ne l'ouvre sur des sujets très forts. Voilà, je m'appelle Louis Montagne et je suis le président avec l'excellent Jean-Pierre Laisné de cette nouvelle édition de l'Open World Forum.
Thanks a lot, Louis. I'll do it in English if you don't mind. And welcome to everyone. Thanks a lot for this intro, which were very warmful and interesting. We're very happy to open this new edition of Open World Forum. Thank you, Louis.
Okay, I'll go for English as well. So let's ask a simple question. What if tomorrow the companies, the developers, and even the users stop totally using open source? We hope that the short answer is it's impossible. But there's a long answer. Open source and free software have become like core components of our modern world. Our modern world is connected, it's mobile, and there's open source in like every server on the web. There's open source in cars, in phones, in all the services. It's today, open source is handling our data. It's pretty solid, it's resilient, it's operational, it's innovative. We talked a lot about it in last edition, and it's also strategic. And when we think about the future, it gives there's probably a lot of open source in it. There is the Internet of Things coming. There will be probably more open content. There will be things in your houses that will be more or less open hardware. So there's a lot coming. And I hope that like in 3 years, I'll be able to use LibreOffice to display 3D slides on stage coming from my hand or something like this. That would be really great. So more than a simple license system for code, open source and free software, it's really communities actually. It's organization, it's a state of mind, it's about sharing things, it's about education also, because to get inside a community, you've got to learn how it works. It's something really interesting, that comes from the internet. It's the strength of globalization, but keeping the value locally. And so that's also a way of defining commerce, e-commerce, responsible commerce, and also shared commerce. So we talk about software when we say open source and free software, but it's human values actually. Strong political, as you've seen, human values. And so we thought, like 4 years ago, and we think about it every year when we build the programs, that we needed a place to discuss all these subjects, and we created, as a community, and there are a lot of people involved in it, the Open World Forum. So that was a long answer. So globally, no, I hope, and we hope, I think, it's not possible to stop open source, but there are many, many questions. And these are the questions we build our program on. Jean-Pierre?
Thanks, Louis. I think I understand the answer. I think I understand quite well the answer, but let me rephrase the question. What is the future? What is the next step for open source? What is the future for Internet, as it has been said earlier by Jean-Louis and Mr. Planchou? If we look at open source and Internet, it's connected. It's very related. we don't know how to separate them. If we look historically, actually, we had TCP/IP. TCP/IP was born with BSD, Unix. You look at the web with Mosaic, HTML, and things like that, and you find Apache, etc., etc. You look at the cloud, plenty of Linux over there. So we have something that grows all together. And something very surprising, we were some, let's say, cypherpunks and nerds a few years ago, 20 years ago. Today we are millions using these systems. Okay, we came from underground and now we are mainstream. Okay, we have evolution and things like that. When Linus Torvalds spoke about world domination, it was a joke. We were joking, and now it's serious. But it's as serious as when people from TCP/IP said, we're going to provide a network for the rest of the world. And everybody, every professional laughed a lot about this idea. So we are very interconnected to that. So seeing this evolution of the internet, the usage of the internet, the usage of the open source, new open source models and things like that, it's interesting to see how it changed. And ambitions are growing. I mean, lots of startups are building new models and getting big money from VCs and things like that. All business, as it has been said, has been impacted. I mean, citizen life is impacted. Society is impacted. But let's stop about nostalgia. Let's stop about evangelism. And so, because it did not happen in one day. It took time. It took a lot of attention. It created a lot of tensions, and some of these tensions are still visible now. So the question is, what's next? What can we expect as the future for both open source and internet? We see some trends which are, let's say, quite annoying for what we want to achieve. We heard about net neutrality. We can think in terms of monopolistic approach from some cloud providers. There are many things that can be really annoying. So how do we should take it? Is it there forever? Is the door fully open, almost open? Or will it be closed in by someone? So that's typically the issues we want to deal with during this Open World Forum. We want to make sure that we identify clearly the issues and we have an action plan. We want to make sure that the people that will participate to these thoughts and will provide insight on these topics will provide answers and action plans, and of course, collaboratively. So we decided to identify 5 topics to analyze and to see where the tensions are, where the situation, and what possible potential evolution is feasible. We identified open data as a very important topic because it goes beyond software. Okay, it goes on citizenship and things like that. Net neutrality, commons, knowledge commons, something which is crucial. How do we share knowledge? How do we share science? And of course, technology such as Internet of Things and cloud computing. So we expect answers after these 3 days to these questions.
So this year we decided to create three different threads for different publics. The first one, I think, with the regular conferences, and it's going with the history of the Open World Forum, with keynotes and summits, and really good time to analyze subject and work. The second thread is code, which is designed for developers with highly technical questions and a lot of different languages that will be talked upon. And the last thread is called experiment, and it's open to the public. And it's like how to discover what is open source, but not only the software, but also open hardware, and what you can do, what the movements that we call DIY, do it yourself, 3D printing, robots, open source, and also art, simply said. We really like to thank, so I'd like to thank in the name of the Forum Committee and Strategy Committee of the Open World Forum, all the partners and sponsors without whom the Open World Forum would not exist and would not be free as it is today. So thank you, Mr. Eric Besson, our Minister of Industry and Energy and Digital Economy, Mr. Jean-Paul Planchot, Vice President from the Région Île-de-France, and Mr. Jean-Louis Missica from the City Hall of Paris, the Mayor's Deputy, in charge of Innovation and Research and University. Both are founders, actually, of the event, so thank you very much.
I'd like also, on the behalf of Open World Forum, to especially thank Systematic and the great work that has been done by Systematic teams, and especially Sabrina and Laurent. They have been excellent, and I mean, most of what you see here is due to what they've done. I'd like to thank also W3C, OSDC, and Syntec who joined this event and participate to it actively. Of course, this event would have been possible without sponsorship, and our sponsors this year, and some of them are Red Hat, Smile, Alterway, SUSE, Neo Telecoms, INRIA, VMware, Microsoft, and Intel. And the list is behind for the others. And finally, I would like to thank them all because their presence and sponsorship is proving that open source matters.
This edition will be 125 hours of conferences, so get ready for that. It's going to be more than 200 speakers from the whole world for a program that has been built by 30 track leaders. And thank you, guys, for the hard work that you did for free. So thanks to you. Open World Forum is the only and the first one that is so big about open source in Europe, and that is totally free. So it's been designed for you, so don't hesitate to think, code, and experiment.
So let's also thank the audience, because it's bigger every year. I mean, let's thanks also all speakers who, as you said, will participate actively and accepted gently to participate to this event. As you said, this forum is your forum. I mean, it's open and free. Feel free to participate. Feel free to exchange, open to exchange. And we hope that you will enjoy this new edition of Open World Forum.
Merci beaucoup.
Nous souhaitons un bon forum.